folks, this is GreenyXI welcoming you right back to Let's Play Higurashi. This is episode 203. Oh my god, so I noticed a couple of years ago, maybe 2 years ago, a new arc was brought out and it actually specifies the very last of Higurashi. I thought it was over with the last one, but then I thought that last time, and anyway, I thought we might as well get a bit of closure with the series, again, and go with this. So it's Higurashi When They Cry, Ho Plus. I had to look up how to pronounce Ho. Okay, so I had a look as well when we started this series, and we're 10 years deep, you know? Roughly 10 years deep. It's insane, it's bloody barking. So we're going to go over this now. I don't have a clue what's coming. I can't imagine it's going to be too long, because the Plus is like an expansion sort of deal. I think it was from the console era. Yeah, so let's get going. Oh yeah, let's have a look at these a sec. Config's probably about the same as it always was, all the different volumes and different speeds and all that sort of stuff. Character sprites, updated or original. Definitely going to go with updated. The originals look... English language, display mode I put on full screen just now. Omaki, I wasn't sure what that meant, but if you go into it, it just shows scenario unlocked, so yeah, I had a look at that as well. And I don't want to unlock any scenarios. I imagine we're gonna be ending each episode at you know, when it sort of makes it clear, like we have been in the past. So, episode 203, let's go! Ooh, like the fragment world. Going back into the Higurashi worlds. Oh! Ooh! You have a choice. It's only one that's lit up. Unlock it by clearing Outbreak. So you can choose one of these two. How do you know which one is first? It all started from here. Difficulty is average. Difficulty is Genesis. I don't know which one to go for to start with. Should we go for bus stop first? Should we just have a look at that first? It is the one that's lit up, so I don't know. Hinamizawa bus stop. Higurashi When They Cry Origin. Welcome to Hinamizawa. This is a slightly unusual fragment. The original fragment, which would eventually grow into Higurashi When They Cry. The difficulty is Genesis. It all started from here. Okay, let's have a gander. I thought we'd choose Higurashi as well, just because we're, oh, no way. Just because we're probably just coming out to Halloween by this point, because I've recorded ahead, but, carry on with it, you know? It might not even be spooky anymore, but it might just be fan servicey stuff, I hope not. The scene is set deep within the mountains of a certain region. That seems different font. Is it just me? Looks clearer? Where there is a bus stop on the outskirts of a village, the Hinamazawa bus stop. It's a lonely place devoid of people, with hardly any private homes nearby. Rain is pouring outside, and a gloomy mood hangs over the area. That bus stop is a stand made from crude wood that only just barely keeps out of the rain. Inside there is a bench, only wide enough for 3 people, and 2 town bulletin boards. The bulletin boards hold posters, including one concerning the national census and one about donations to the village festival. The poster that stands out most, however, is the one reading, "Oppose the Hinamazawa Dam Project," made by the residents protesting it. 2 young students, Mion and Rika, approach the empty Hinamazawa bus stop with only the sound of rain to be heard. So it's back in the days of the dam protest, right? Ooh. I like that. Aha! It's really coming down, isn't it? This is why I told you. We should have brought umbrellas. But we couldn't play as hard if we had our hands full of stuff, could we? Oh well. Nothing we can do about it now. Still, it's really pouring. I hope it stops soon. It's fine, it's fine. There's never been an unending rain or a day the sun didn't rise throughout all of human history. Yeah. I think I just said something cool. People could die from laughing. We'd be a pile of ash by now. I'd love nothing more than to die laughing. Go, ho, ho. See, I told you. You're right? Yeah, sorry. Still, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. I didn't think you'd find it this fun. Man, seriously though. Today I had a buttload ton of fun. Man, seriously. You're exaggerating your enjoyment now. Not that it feels bad though. Well, what do I say? I'm just, you know, this is who I am, right? I'm always going off the rails all by myself. I always thought that you considered me annoying, Rika-san. I've never once thought you were annoying. I love how lively you always are. So that's why I was really happy when you invited me to come out and play. When I got your invitation, man. All my plans, bam, cancelled. Forget about school too. Probably wasn't a good thing that we skipped school to go and play. It's fine, it's fine. It's not like missing a day of Fujishima's class will make that much difference. Besides, we couldn't have worn ourselves out playing around like this if it wasn't a weekday, right? I think it really was worth skipping school to go play then. Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Though to be honest, I was really surprised when you suggested we should, as diligent as you seem to be and all. It was a surprise for me to say that. I mean, Rika-san, you've come off as a real teacher's pet, you know? So when you secretly whispered into my ear, want to skip school next Wednesday? Well, when that day came, I just had to skip. You know? I even thought you might be confessing to me. Just kidding. But before we know it, maybe our emotions will take us one step up from friendship. It's never happening, so don't worry. Bitch. How can you be so sure? When you seriously fall in love with someone, gender is an easy hurdle to overcome. Mion draws close to her with an ominous grin. Rika inches back on the bench, trying to get away from her. We don't need to overcome anything. I'm fine as is. Since we live in such a remote place, the next bus won't be here for another hour, you know? Not to mention, it's also raining today. Plus, this bus stop is the sort of place people rarely ever visit. Not to mention, it's also raining today. Which means we have at least an hour, when no one will come to disturb us. Not to mention, it's also raining today. And because of the rain. As Mion prepares to launch herself on Rika, two men, Tonegawa and Arakawa, appear. Mion hastily moves away from Rika. She was just joking. Man, thank goodness. Really is raining awfully hard out there. I'm soaked. And because of the rain. Oh, yeah, you said it. Arakawa-san, Arakawa-kun, when's the next bus due? Due? In a little under an hour. Looks like it just passed through a little while ago. We got no luck getting stuck at this bus stop in the heavy rain for an hour. And because of the rain. Do something to you? It's been a while since I took a bath. Do I smell? Regretting the interruption? Damn it. When I get my chance, I'll bury the two of them. Rika-san, we'll continue afterward. Sure. If you really do it, I'll forgive you. Mion glares at both men with a suspicious, burning look. Both Tonegawa and Arakawa feel forced to take a step backward. Ladies, do I really smell? You smell! You stink to high heaven! See, this is why I told you to lay off. You sweat more when you drink a lot. Does he smell that bad? Can't tell myself. He does. He reeks. Right? Even men need to take care of their appearance. Come on now. I'll be more careful. But I don't smell as bad as she's claiming, right? I don't smell anything. I don't notice much either. You smell alright. You can tell by looking. By looking? For a suspicious pair of men to come to an isolated place like this, there can only be one reason. What reason? Rika buries her fist into Mion's stomach without a moment's pause. Mion curls up and falls silent after that. Please don't let it bother you. This girl's a little crazy. Little bit. Rika-san, I really hurt, you know? I'm carrying our baby in this stomach, remember? Rika wraps her arm around Mion's neck and strangles her in her armpit. Yeah, she is annoying. Want me to make it so our body can never bear children? Is that a dummy? Oh no, it's her mouth. Oh Christ, there's a tongue. I thought they put a dummy on her as soon as they mentioned baby. Rika-san, that hurts. That seriously hurts. Looks like you two get along really well. You friends? Friends? Heavens no! There's much more than that between me and Rika, Oni-sama. Rika immediately slams her fist into Mion's stomach again. This time, Mion hits the ground. We're friends. I'm Rika. Rika Furude. This girl's Mion. Mion Sonosaki. Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Tonegawa. This is Arakawa-kun. By the way, he's still single. Tonegawa-san, please don't add more details than you need to. What are your hobbies, Arakawa-san? What do you do for a living? See, here it comes. Be cool with your answer, man. Huh? For my hobbies, I like skiing. Sometimes. Oh, that's something I could never do. Too much risk. And my career's with the Ministry of Construction. You're with the River Bureau, right? Working on the dam project. Huh? Well, yes. You already knew? Oh, I'm surprised. Is this one of those it's elementary Watson sort of things? It's not much to deduce. Only people involved with the dam project walk around in an outfit like that. It's just as you say. I'm impressed, Detective. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I'm Tonegawa from the Ministry of Construction, River Bureau, Urban River Office. I left the Erosion and Sediment Control Department in April, seeking handshake. Arakawa from the same urban office, seeking handshake. Sunsaki from the same makes no sense to me, seeking handshake from Rika. Makes no sense to me, it's your brain. Seeking handshake. A moment of silence passes. Rika makes no attempt to shake the hands offered to her. Did you really think I'd shake your hand? When you're one of the ones trying to destroy Hinamazawa? That's harsh, drawing his hand back. Did you think I'd shake your hand? When you're one of the ones trying to defile Hinamazawa? That's harsh, drawing his hand back. Waiting for a handshake with a wry smile. Won't allow there to be a dam here in Hinamazawa, ignoring Mion and staring at the other two. Hinamazawa River needs a dam. Hinami River. It'll provide extraordinary contributions to the irrigation of the regions downstream, as well as flood control operations. No. We also need the electricity that the dam could generate. A generator outputting up to 350,000 kilowatts will be a boon to Japan's rapid economic growth. I really like this music, I forgot how good the soundtrack is in this game. No. You can't ignore the effects a dam would have on development of the region either. It would be a huge contribution, not only locally, but also to the advancement of industries in the railway cities around here. No. Mion remains frozen, looking for a handshake. Exasperated, Rika shakes her hand. Mion silently overjoyed. You can list all the niceties you want. None of them are a good reason to submerge Hinamazawa under a reservoir. Of course we understand how you feel. However, there are still several conditions that make Hinamazawa most suitable for construction of the dam. The first is the layout of the terrain. Hinamazawa is where the Hinami River comes to its narrowest point, and the bedrock here is granite. Those are both perfect conditions for the construction of a dam. So, another important factor is its proximity to a centre of demand for electricity, so there's little lost in transmission. Also, as I mentioned before, it could generate up to 350,000 kilowatts. That's the same amount of energy that used to be consumed by all of Shikoku. So, it can also raise our water storage efficiency. The Hinamazawa Dam will have a storage efficiency of 200. That means 200 times the dam capacity. So, in other words, once the Hinamazawa Dam is built, the water level will rise and the reservoir will span over a full 30 kilometers. That's about the distance from Tokyo to Umaya. So, the convenience of acquiring construction aggregate is also an important factor. We've calculated that the Hinamazawa Dam will require 1.5 million cubic meters of aggregate. That's enough for 6 buildings. We could also win a hot spring strip too. So, Rika turns and glares at Mion. She stomps even closer to Mion, who has just interrupted this serious discussion. Huh? I hope we win one, you know? So, normally you win a pair of tickets, right? So let's go together if we win to the hot springs. So, when we go to the hot springs, we can wash each other's backs. Then when we're done, we can play ping pong in yukata. So, then afterward, we'll gaze at the fireworks show by the river through our window. Then once we've gotten into a nice mood, our fingers will suddenly intertwine. And while it embarrasses you, you'll lean into me. Rika rapidly closes in on Mion, and the two exit the scene while screaming her usual line. The two from the Ministry of Construction stand there dumbstruck, unable to understand what was happening. Young girls nowadays sure get along well. I think that was slightly different than getting along. Bang! Thud! Several more sounds of blows pass. The two ministry men look at each other in shock. Afterwards, Rika returns to the scene, smacking her hands clean. Anyway, I'm opposed to the dam. Of course. You can't resort to violence. Both men back away while holding each other. Oh, well, I was opposed to the dam at first too. Arakawa-kun. Dams cause destruction to the environment after all. Right? Hi! Mion returns to the scene, clutching her stomach and staggering. That punch just now, it really hurt. What would you do if it had ruptured my pancreas? Anyway, the dam's no good. In fact, it's absolutely bad, said while turning to Mion. Why is it a bad thing? Mion says while dodging exaggeratedly. Her stomach pain has disappeared as if she were never hit at all. It's a very different way of storytelling in this arc, isn't there? Like, it's not going into painfully over the top descriptives and stuff. It's just a bit in brackets in between text, and I think I like it. No, there doesn't need to be a reason for that. That's not a very good rebuttal then, Rika-san. You gotta have some reason, right? Henceforth, the two ministry men add exaggerated nods every time Mion expresses agreement with the dam. Occasionally, Rika glares at them, and they cower while still holding each other. I don't think the dam's really a bad thing. We learned about this in social studies, right? That it helps prevent flooding. That's blatant sophistry. When the area receives heavy rainfall, they have to drain it out, which actually causes flash floods. Did you know their operating standards are pretty lax? But the fact that it generates lots of electricity is good, isn't it? 250,000 kilowatts, was it? That's an incredible amount of power. That's blatant sophistry. The truth is that the electrical output only goes down with every year due to sediment. Did you know they don't run the generators during heavy rainfall because rocks can slip in and damage the turbines? But also, once it's built, it really will contribute to Japan for a long time. That's blatant sophistry. Sediment only continues to build up, ultimately leaving the dam clogged with mud. Did you know that all dams have a lifespan too? We could have a Cuban or a Reuben or something. That's sandwich artistry. Mion and Arakawa smiled guiltily. Rika gazed sharply at those around her. Both Mion and Arakawa shrivel up on the spot. It's often said the benefits of a dam go downstream, while those upstream foot the bill. I think your arguments are valid, Rika-san. However, I really hope you'll appreciate its benefit toward irrigation works. You want to submerge Hinamazawa under a reservoir, no matter what then? We truly understand the grief this must be causing to everyone living in Hinamazawa, but of course that's why we're offering appropriate compensation. You mean the compensation money for our eviction? Of course, we're also working with others to see to the construction of new apartments in the city. They're wonderful places to live, with plenty of access to public services, close proximity to the station. That's a tempting offer, isn't it? I was born here in Hinamazawa too, so it's not like I don't have any attachment to the place. But wouldn't it be kinda sad to spend my entire youth in this mountain village with only a few hundred homes? Cities are great. They have everything. You can really find all sorts of things we've only ever seen on TV. TV this, Tokyo that. That's all I've heard from you since you went sightseeing there. So what if I'm a wannabe? Just think about it. Do you know what the tallest building is here in Hinamazawa? It's the 3-story fire department. Are there any buildings with an escalator here in Hinamazawa? There aren't. There's an elevator, by the way. The elevator used to transport food for the elementary school. I'm sick of all that. So you're saying life in the city would be better than in our hometown? Your ancestors must be crying. I absolutely refuse to let my life end here, in some backwater mountains. I want to live a normal life like a normal girl, in a normal city surrounded by normal things. Do you think the people in Hinamazawa are capable of living in a city? That's their problem. If they like this place so much, then they can stay here. Don't drag me into it. My family's poor, so we couldn't move, even if we wanted to. But thanks to the compensation money, we'll finally have enough to move into the city. What do you think will happen to us if the dam project's cancelled? Don't tie me down to these mountains any longer. Tears well in Mion's eyes, full of violent emotion. Rika stands there with little to say, and the two ministry men anxiously watch over both of them. Suddenly, Rika turns on her heel and exits the scene. I'm going to the bathroom. Rika-san, there's a bathroom around there? Rika exits quickly. Mion gets a hold of herself and starts to follow after her, but Arakawa suddenly lets out a groan. Arakawa-kun, you alright? He's been feeling poorly since the weekend ended. Apparently he keeps feeling pain all of a sudden. There's a bathroom around back. Oh, but right now, Rika-san's using it. It's not a stomach ache. You alright? Arakawa-kun. I'm sorry. It'll settle down soon. You're working yourself too hard. You should get yourself checked out by a doctor. I'm sorry. I'm fine now. Though my head's still throbbing. Yeah. It almost sounds like subarachnoid hemorrhaging. Don't know what that means. I know hemorrhaging. Blood. At any rate, you're resting tomorrow. Go have a doctor check you out at a major hospital. You're right. Sorry. It really started hurting all of a sudden. Now that you mention it, my head hurts too. Yeah. It's throbbing. That's not good. Might have caught a cold. It's raining out. Blackout. Ooh, a little headache's nothing to worry about. Bad signs. I don't know if you can see that. Little achievement. The sound of heavy rain plays. The scene remains pitch black. A voice plays over the radio. This is Car 1 to HQ. Do you read? Car 1, over. The sound of thunder echoes in the distance. The stage slowly grows lighter. The sound of rain fades into the distance. The two ministry men are gone. A man, Yoshimura, appears, running on stage. Man, it's like someone's dumping a bathtub on us out there. Doesn't matter if you got an umbrella or not. Man, ugh, even my underwear is soaked. Honestly, it's not something I get to see often, so absolutely. Oh, I didn't think you'd actually say yes. Someone you know? No, I don't know any old men like him. You seemed awfully close while talking to him just now, though. Oh no, my heart belongs solely to you, Rika-san. I was just making a conversation with a lonely middle-aged man who's babbling to himself. That's cruel. I'm still only 28, you know. So when you round up, that's 30, right? At 30, you're well into middle age. What? Oh no. Listen here, men get more mature and charming when they hit their 30s. They mate ant farms? Rika-san, this man's gone nuts. They don't mate ants, they grow mature. I don't get that joke. They grow manure? Oh, I get that one. This man's pretty far gone. You win, you win. Manure's fine. I can't beat you kids. Rika-san, this old man's a pretty funny guy. Maybe he'll give us some money if we beg. Really only just met him. I'm surprised you can keep up a conversation. It's the same as with you and me. I spoke a whole lot when we first met, didn't I? Or maybe that was more than just me carrying on all by myself. It's not true. I had fun too. Sorry about earlier. I went too far. No. I should apologise. I'm sorry. Wow, you seduced her real good. I didn't think you'd take it in that direction. Shut up. We just got a good mood going here. Don't look so menacing. Fine, fine. I won't say a single word more. You go ahead and take it as far as you can go. Huh? What do you mean as far as I can go? Whoa, whoa! Rika-san, this guy's a perv! You're Rika-chan then. I'm Yoshimura. Nice to meet you. What are your hobbies in Korea, Yoshimura-san? Huh? Man, no one's that blunt even at formal marriage interviews. I have many different hobbies. I guess you could say my career is in freelance writing. Is that like a freeloader? It means he writes articles freely for different places. This next bus is in. Well, it's quite some time from now. Today's my lucky day. I get to share shelter from the rain with a pair of cute young girls. Tonegawa and Arakawa return from the bathroom. Yoshimura looks disappointed. Oh, a friend of yours? Just some strange old man. That's harsh. Hello, I'm Yoshimura. Please allow me to take shelter from the rain in here too. You two are with the dam project, right? Hello. Tonegawa from the Ministry of Construction's River Bureau, Urban River Office, holding out his hand. Hello. Arakawa, also from the Urban River Office, holding out his hand. Hello. Sonzaki, Fude, also from Makes No Sense to Me, holding their hands out to Yoshimura. Looks like you're all getting along well. You're all friends. All four look at each other and slowly shake their heads. You look like awfully close friends, though. You really do. Can you all stay like that for a moment? I want to take a picture of you four friends together. Okay, smile, smile. Pulling the camera out of his pocket and aiming it at them. The disgraceful state of modern high school girls. Ministry of Construction employees engaged in compensated dating in Hinamizawa. Blackout. Bam, bam, bam. The sound of pounding rings out. A moment of silence follows. The scene remains pitch black. A voice plays over a radio. HQ over. HQ over. All cars now in position. Thunder echoes. The stage steadily lights up. A sound of heavy rain fades into the distance. Man, to think it's a thunderstorm too. This is some awful weather we're having. But I think I see the sky getting a little brighter in the distance. Maybe it'll all clear up by the time the bus gets here. You're out here gathering information, Yoshimura-san? On the Hinamazawa Dam, I suppose? Yeah, the dam's at least part of it. But I'm gathering information generally. Then on the villagers' protest movements against the dam project? Not that. The effect building a dam will have on the environment? No, not that. The contributions a dam will provide to the region? Yeah, no, not that, not that. It's nothing nearly that serious. A surprise report on pretty young girls from northern Honshu? National beauties discovered in Hinamazawa? Mion freezes while holding a model's pose. Then after a moment of silence, Yoshimura continues speaking, ignoring Mion. Poor Mion. What I came to gather information on is... Yoshimura pauses to build tension. Mion remains frozen in her pose. Rika, exasperated, relents and shakes Mion's hand. Mion's once more silently overjoyed. What is it? Please don't keep holding out on us. You familiar with Oyashiro-sama? Here it comes! By Oyashiro-sama, you mean... Yes. Yes. That Oyashiro-sama. Huh? Who's that? That's ridiculous. It's just some stupid superstition. Of course it's a superstition. It's just a simple fairy tale. It's stupid. You've come all the way out here just to gather information on something as stupid as that. You keep calling it stupid, but you seem to be pretty concerned about it. Arakawa-kun, calm down, calm down. I don't get what's going on, but it's a fairy tale, right? Yes. It's a simple fairy tale. What on earth is he talking about? Sonzaki-san? Do you know? Who's this whatever-sama? We learned about him in elementary school, by the way. So I know some things. Oyashiro-sama is the name of Hinamazawa's guardian deity. Everyone that's local knows about him. I've heard enough about Oyashiro-sama already. And you're planning on making me hear more? More of those stupid stories? Stories? Oyashiro-sama's fairy tales. They say that if you try to defile Hinamazawa, you'll be cursed. I love it! Distant thunder. The sound of rain grows a little stronger. There's silence for a moment. It's a stupid story. Every rural village has a tale or two like that. That's right. There's no end to the number of legends about gods cursing people throughout all the regions of Japan. But the tales of this Oyashiro-sama's curse are completely different from the rest. He really does curse people. Ah, no way. Curses aren't even a thing anymore. You're scaring them, Rika-san. Looks like you don't know, Mio-chan. Mion-chan. Well, I don't blame you for that. It wasn't like everything got published in the news, after all. We can put an exact number on it. 4. 4 people working for the Ministry of Construction have already passed away. Their deaths were unnatural. This is ridiculous. It's just a series of simple accidents. So listen here. We're always working on the damn project one way or another. So I'm not going to stand for people claiming it's a curse whenever someone collapses on the job. I wouldn't be saying these things either if they had died ordinary deaths. However, theirs weren't even remotely normal. They weren't normal? Are you referring to Kandura-san at the end of last year? That one was highlighted in the newspapers. It happened on November 20th of last year. It was a gruesome incident, one where he stabbed his sleeping family members one after another before slitting his own throat. The man's name was Kondo Yoshiyuki. He was a member of the Ministry of Construction's River Bureau Development Division. He was one of the initial staff on the Hinamazawa Dam project, and he visited Hinamazawa several times. So it was some kind of murder, suicide thing? Ultimately, yes. At least that's how it was settled. But no matter how hard the police investigated him, they couldn't find any reason he would commit suicide. I remember hearing rumours that he might have gotten his hands on some kind of drug. When they conducted the autopsy, they found absolutely no trace of any drugs in his system. At the time of the incident, he was pretty overworked, and the police decided that he had snapped because of it. I think what happened to him is tragic. And sure, it wasn't normal, but it's far too hasty to go claiming it was Oyashiro-sama's curse. You're absolutely right. If it were an isolated incident, I wouldn't jump straight to blaming the curse either. There were others. Who were they? You said 4 staff members died, didn't you, Yoshimura-san? But I haven't heard a thing about anyone other than Kondo-san. If a member of staff passed away, you'd think we would have gotten some notice about it. Right, Arakawa-kun? Pardon me, but you moved it into the department in April, right? Tonegawa-san? Christ. Yes. Up until April, I was with the Land Conservation Division of the Erosion and Sediment Control Department. They've kept it hidden. Even more have died. Arakawa-kun? Is that true? Arakawa bitterly hangs his head. Tonegawa is left confused. After that incident with him, certain rumours began to spread among those in charge of the Hinamazawa Dam. The rumours were whispered well before that incident, but at the very least they were treated as just fairy tales up until it occurred. By fairy tales you mean, yes, Oyashiro-sama's curse. Stop this already. What kind of stories are they? These, well, fairy tales about Oyashiro-sama. They're just stories, nothing more. Long, long ago, there lived a poor elderly couple with 3 sons. The 3 sons hated work in the fields and longed for a life of luxury, so one day they abandoned the fields their parents and ancestors had worked to travel to the capital. All 3 of them had ran away at once. So, well, their parents worked hard all by themselves to protect their ancestors' land. But it wasn't enough. In the end, both of them collapsed and fell sick one day. They couldn't protect their ancestors' fields without the strength of their sons. So the elderly couple prayed to Oyashiro-sama. "Please tell our sons to come home," they asked. First, Oyashiro-sama visited the eldest son. He stood at the son's bedside and admonished him to return to his homeland. But after coming to know the gaudy life of the city, the oldest son stubbornly refused. So Oyashiro-sama stood at his bedside for 7 days and 7 nights, but the eldest son would not return to Hinamazawa. Having him by his bedside every night must have been pretty rough. That sounds more like harassment. So then, in the end, the eldest son is cursed to death. Next, Oyashiro-sama visited the second son's bedside, but the second son wouldn't return either. So the same happens to him. He goes crazy on the 7th day and dies. The third grew frightened by his brother's untimely deaths, so he fled back home, and then the 3 of them worked together to protect the fields. The end. Some consider it a fairy tale, meant to promote the custom of those who are born here remaining until they die, and such a custom isn't all that unusual. It's not like Kondo-san was from here though, right? No, he wasn't. In other words, this god, this Oyashiro-sama, is strict towards both those who try to leave Hinamazawa and those outsiders who come to Hinamazawa. He's a guardian deity after all. The old folks opposed to the dam all keep talking about this. They've all been getting a kick out of it, because they didn't think they'd get to hear such fairy tales again in modern times. Yes, it was a fairy tale, until that incident happened. Thunder rings in the distance. The rain continues pouring down hard. A moment of silence passes. I forget who was the first to say it. They said they've been having trouble because they can't get any sleep lately. They said that whenever they try to sleep, they get restless and wake up. They're overworked. Then one of them started saying this. "When I try to sleep, I feel some kind of presence nearby. I turned the light on to look for them, but no one was there. Yet once I turned the light off again, I felt that same presence." They all thought it was amusing to play it up as Oyashiro-sama's curse. They say that Oyashiro-sama's standing by their bedsides. Thinking back on it now, I believe Kondo-san was the first to complain about his lack of sleep. Kondo-san, the way he was acting before the incident was no laughing matter. He swore something was there. He swore that every night, when he tried to sleep, that he was there. That's creepy as shit, those eyes. He was there? No way. Then the incident happened. At that point, it was no simple laughing matter anymore. Our workplace was like a haunted mansion for a while after that. I sensed an eerie presence in the nap room. When I was up pulling overtime late at night, there was someone standing behind me. There was something following me on the train. It couldn't have gotten more ridiculous than that. It isn't ridiculous. He does exist. That Oyashiro-sama. At some point, that something began to be called Oyashiro-sama. I've never heard anything about these rumours. One thing about us Japanese people is that we go all quiet about anything taboo. The workers are hoping that not speaking about it will make it go away. But then it happened. There was a second and a third incident, and with every new incident that happened, they went even quieter in fear of Oyashiro-sama's curse. The management was distressed by the situation, and so they did everything in their power to try and cover it up. There's no way! Cover it up when staff are dying? That's unthinkable. It's not like they were hiding the corpses or anything. They just made an effort to keep control of the information and keep it from reaching anyone not involved. They didn't want morale to go down any further at the workplace. But those who knew, know. Right, Arakawa-san? That was an accident. Arakawa-kun. Cut us a break already. What's so funny? I mean, it's impossible not to laugh, right? Right? In this modern age? Laugh, laugh. We did laugh. We laughed and said, how could such a ridiculous thing be real? I did. My friends did. We all did. We all did. Then it happened again. The next victim was Kakinuma-san from the Urban River office. Numa-san's death was an accident. That was no curse. Was he a friend? No. He was a worker I didn't know. He was a man who loved his liquor and gambling, and he smiled often. He was my direct predecessor at the job I have now, and while there was an age gap between us, I often went drinking with him. He was a guy who'd drink the night away every night, even though he had a beautiful wife who looked a decade younger. Have a drink or something. He could have gone home early for her every now and then. Listen now, Ara-chan. Don't ever get married, you hear? You only have free time to yourself while you're single. Amen! He was just making fun, I bet. People like that are always the ones to diligently remember their anniversary and such, and come home on those days, no matter what they may say. Halfway though, Mion adds her unrestrained laugh to his bitter one. Suddenly, Arakawa interrupts his own laugh with a shout. Everyone freezes, startled. Mion stops laughing too. I figured he must have been tired. He had been working very hard for several days in a row, so it made sense to me. The last train had long since left, so Numa-san was taking me home in his car like usual. That's when I said to him, "Numa-san, you look pretty tired." I've been having trouble sleeping lately, so I haven't got much sleep. Huh. Numa-san, please stop that. Is it showing up at your place too? The you-know-what? You don't sense anything, Ara-chan? At night? Sense something at night? Sounds like something naughty. I'm positive that they're there. Positive. When it bugs me, I turn on the lights. But there's only ever my wife and child in the room. Of course, right? But still, they're really there. Numa-san, please give me a break. They're there. They're there. What are you even saying is there? Kondo-san also said things like that about a month before now, right? Kondo-san was... Come on, you know. It was kind of... There were similar aspects. Maybe the same one that's showing up at my place was there at Kondo-san's place too. Let's stop this. All this talk about Kondo-san. I know. When Kondo-san said they were there, it was probably him. He definitely exists. With every passing day, I feel him even more strongly. Can we stop this already? Stop talking about this stuff. It's not fun. It's not fun. Yeah. Let's stop. But no, I do sense his presence more strongly with every day that goes by. That's true. I feel him so strongly. It feels like I'll find him standing there when I open my eyes. The light goes out and the stage goes dark. Listen, I think I'm about to meet him soon. To meet Oyashiro-sama. It happened late at night that day. He ran to a dump truck while driving in the opposite lane and passed away. That was an accident. Even if it did happen right after that conversation. It was an accident. But I couldn't very well tell his wife about that. There's no way I could. No way I could tell her such a ridiculous story. At the time they thought he had fallen asleep behind the wheel. But the truth was different. Kakinuma-san's corpse was found with its throat scratched out. Ooh. Both of his hands were covered in blood, and several of the nails were peeled off his fingers. I'm having trouble taking all this in here. In other words, whatever may have been running through his mind, he began to scratch out his throat right before he died, with such horrifying force that it peeled his nails off. How do you know about that too? Could you be? I investigated it. I'm something of a reporter, you know. But how did you... He did meet him. Are you sure, Sama, that is? Distant thunder, the sound of rain, heavy silence. Did you know about Mori-san and Kato-san? I don't. I really don't know about those two. I only just heard about Kato-san, so I really don't know. Kato-san leapt in front of a train at Nishi Funabashi Station in Chiba Prefecture and died. The station employees witnessed him demonstrating bizarre behaviour right before jumping, but the details are unclear. I don't know. How about Mori-san? His was on site, wasn't it? He should have been working there too. On site? I didn't know about this. What happened? I don't know. I'd left to go eat. When I came back there was a huge commotion, but it was all over. It was over by the time I got back, so I don't know. I don't know anything. This is my first time hearing about that. How could I not hear about this when it happened on site? Because by then Mori-san was the fourth. Apparently the upper management and the police had already come to an agreement beforehand regarding special circumstances, so everything, even inspection of the scene, was carried out in secret. Do you remember? There was a day where there was some commotion about an accident that happened while replacing gas valves. I think I remember something like that. They said the construction worker and staff member that were there got injured and were carried off in an ambulance. That was a crazy day. Of course, that was just a cover story. The truth is vastly different. What do you mean? They were lying. They used their authority to cover up the truth. Those who were involved kept their lips very tight, so I don't know too many details myself, but this is the truth. Mori-san had been sleeping. Just as their lunch break was ending, he suddenly shot up and stabbed the staff member sitting next to him with an awl. What's an awl? Then he continued to assault 3 other staff members, and before they managed to pin him down, he stabbed his own throat, ending his life. It all happened within a mere 1 or 2 minutes. I told you, I'd gone out to eat, so I don't know. The stage goes dark. The light centers on Arakawa. Arakawa recalls the moment when he was cornered by Mori, wielding an owl. Please stop this, Mori-san. They're not there. No one's there. There's no way they could be there. They don't exist. Please calm down. It's a fairy tale. They don't exist. Oishiro-sama isn't real. I'm using the bathroom. I'm sorry. Please excuse me again. Arakawa bitterly leaves the stage. The sound of rain resumes. I never knew that such things had... No one knows the true identity of Oishiro-sama's curse, but it definitely exists somehow, and the key to unravelling that mystery should be here in Hinamazawa. That's why I've come here, to find out what it is. You'll die. Huh? You'll die too. The very act of trying to uncover Oishiro-sama's true identity is blasphemy toward Oishiro-sama. If that's really why you've come to Hinamazawa, then you'll die too. A heavy silence hangs between them. Yoshimura doesn't respond. It's late. The bus. Isn't it about time for it to show up? It's probably delayed, right? Since it's raining. It's raining, you know. The sound of rain gradually fades out along with the lights. A moment of silence passes. The stage remains pitch black. A voice plays over a radio. Recon team reporting in. This outsider's with them. That's unexpected. Do we call it off? The sound of thunder strikes. The stage gradually grows brighter. The sound of heavy rain fades into the distance. Arakawa still hasn't returned from the bathroom yet. He's taking a while, that Arakawa-kun. Maybe he's feeling sick again. Arakawa sounds sick. Oh, you weren't there, were you? Earlier, while you were in the bathroom, he was squirming around, saying his head was throbbing. They said it was a sign of something. They said it was... supiningud hemorrhagin. Oh shit, I can't say it either. Subarachnoid hemorrhagin. I'm gonna check on him. Tonogawa exits. Rika also stands up after a moment. I have some medicine that's good for headaches, so I'll go see him too. I'll be right back. Oh sure, take care. Mion and Yoshimura are left behind. There's silence and the sound of rain. Mion's concerned with her light headache the entire time. I'm starting to feel kind of sleepy. My head kind of hurts too. Maybe I have a cold. I was sightseeing in Tokyo the other day, though it was less sightseeing, more like I went there to enjoy Mouseland. Is that Disneyland? Huh? Oh, you did? I've been sightseeing in Tokyo too. I went to Mouseland too, yeah. Though that's really the only place I went as well. We stayed in a place called Hotel Seaside Edokai. It's an elegant hotel in Kasai Rinkai Park. Huh? 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 Me too. That's where I stayed too. What coincidence. I took a walk around the park at night and it was incredible. That place was a sacred ground for couples. I felt ashamed being there while single. Same. I thought so too. The food was far more magnificent than I imagined it would be, but I lost out, ordering the Japanese meal like my parents did. I didn't like the boiled fish at all, so I left the whole thing. You too, Yoshimura-san? I did that too. That night I couldn't sleep because I was so hungry. I had no choice but to slip out of the hotel to buy some cup noodles from the vending machine near the police box. But to my chagrin, I didn't have any change, so I was starving that night. You too, Yoshimura-san. I did that too. The next morning, I had the cell phone I borrowed from my father with me in my pocket when I went to do my business. Well, I accidentally dropped it in the toilet. I panicked and pulled it out without regard for how filthy it was. Then I tried drying it off with a hairdryer. I tried to fool my father by saying the battery had died, but that didn't work. You too, Yoshimura-san. I did that too. I rode all kinds of rides in Mouseland. I had a great time. I laughed the most on the pirate one. There was a mountain of treasure along the ride, so I leaned out of the gondola to try and touch it, but they yelled at me through the loudspeaker. The people working those theme parks sure watch carefully, don't they? You too, Yoshimura. What's going on? I did exactly the same things. You played as much as you could all the way up to the park's closing time, didn't you? Then right before the park closed, you stormed into an ice cream shop and begged your mother to buy you rum raisin. There was this one man cleaning the park who was looking on as it kept dripping while you ate it. You waved at him, so he turned away from you. I think you got upset. Then when you looked back, it was dripping all over your skirt. You cried real hard, saying that you couldn't get on the train like that, right? Maybe carrying on so much came back to bite you, but you suffered a really bad headache the next morning. You took some medicine, but that was only a temporary relief. After your father and mother thought it over, they decided to move their plans forward and go home after that. You were unsteady on your feet from the headache, but you cried and pleaded with them. You said the headache would go away soon, but your parents decided to go home because they treasured their daughter. You still regret that, don't you? From the time you went sightseeing in Tokyo? Huh? Yeah, sure. Thunder rings in the distance. The sound of rain continues. A long silence passes between them. Mion's pretending to smile, but her face is pale. Her shoulders are shuddering. You're in favour of the dam, right? You're hoping that you'll be able to move to Tokyo with the compensation money. But due to your parents' work, you're likely to move to the local city. But you can make that compromise, because it's still far more metropolitan than Hinamizawa at the very least. There's plenty of buildings taller than the fire department there. How do you know all of that? You left your soul back in Tokyo. Your heart's not here in Hinamizawa anymore. That's bad for you, isn't it? Being like that. Bad how? Because of Orishiro-sama. Orishiro-sama's curse. Curses those who try to abandon Hinamizawa, you know. If I were this Orishiro-sama, then you'd be out, in my mind. What do you think? Mion steps back, shuddering a little. I've always been the type who believes in them, ever since I was little. I believe in fairy tales, nursery rhymes, even ghost stories. I know they're all made up, but I still believe in them. Ever since you suffered that headache in Tokyo, you haven't been able to brush off your worries about Orishiro-sama, have you? Even though you know they're made up stories, right? Who are you? Me? Who am I? Cuckoo. Yoshimura begins to laugh like crazy. Mion stands there dumbstruck by his bizarre state. I told you earlier, didn't I? I'm Yoshimura. Yoshimura, the freelance writer. And not just some freeloader. Thunder violently roars. Fairy tales is nothing in truth to made up stories. It is! So if you can see the achievement, it just showed like an evil Mickey Mousey silhouette. Thunder violently roars. The scene goes dark with the sound of a heavy downpour. A moment of silence passes. The stage remains dark. A voice plays over the radio. HQ to all cars. Due to the involvement of outsiders, commencement of the operation is postponed. All cars go to standby, ready to move immediately. Remain vigilant. We do not know how this will go. Thunder booms out again. The stage steadily grows lighter. The sound of pouring rain fades into the distance. All 5 people are sitting on the bench. Well, is the medicine working? I'm sorry. I feel much better now. Thank you very much. It worked? Okay. Rika-san, could I have some too? Of that headache medicine, I mean. Mine's a bit... Your head's hurting too? No, it's fine right now. Though it really hurt earlier. I have some medicine. Want it? I'm fine. Mion refuses with an excessive response. Yoshimura, Tonegawa, Arakawa are all a bit surprised by her odd reaction. I see. Right then. She's not jokey anymore, she... Still, that bus sure isn't coming, is it? It should be here by now, though. It's raining out, after all. There's a moment of silence accompanied by the sound of rain. Then 2 detectives, Hoshino and Okano, enter. There's more again. More people. Why are there so many people coming here today of all days? There's usually no one here, because it's raining out. Good afternoon. Are all of you waiting for the bus? Yes. It should be here soon, though. Uh-huh. The bus isn't coming. I think we'll end it off there, because it doesn't seem like it's going to have chapter splits. Like, maybe those achievements are meant to be there in this arc, I don't know. But I'm going to leave it off there just in case. So, this has been GreenyXI. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in a bit when we carry on and we see what these two newcomers, one of which being the big main character, or one of the main characters from the original arcs kind of thing. Who? You know what I mean if you've seen them. If not, then I... yeah, so we'll see how they add to the situation. Thanks again for watching, folks. See you again in a bit.